when you hear live music, when you hear classical music, especially, it does have like a very, well, any live music, but I mean, it's so beautiful live. And I think music can heal.
I'm very thankful and excited today to be speaking with Kristina Klebe, the writer, director, and star of NOXTURNE. Christina, thank you so much for the time. I genuinely appreciate it.
Thank you for watching the movie. Thanks for having me.
Honestly, it's a really wild film. It is fascinating. But where did it come from?
Well, I broke my back in 2022 horseback riding. And it was, I'd say, like a obviously very traumatic experience. And I was at the same time I was in a very new relationship with my partner, who's now my fiance. So all good on that front. Um, and he was going through his own story and his own troubles, personal, he was going through his own journey, healing. And I think it was just I spent a lot of time in bed thinking, and I'd been wanting to make a feature for I mean, a very long time. So I thought, well, maybe this is a good story that we could turn into a movie. It's very personal, and it seemed to happen very quickly. We were shooting the next year already. Um, So that was the nugget of the story was coming from breaking my back in 2022.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. I mean, because this story, I didn't realize how personal it was when I saw the film. And so much of this film is about that relationship between physical healing and mental health.
Mhm.
Can you was that difficult to share? Was that coming from your own experience? What was that like bringing that out?
Yeah. So, and yes, very good point. And so I think that no matter what, when you go through a difficult, like a trauma of any sort, it does obviously affect, well, like a physical trauma can affect our I mean, you usually get PTSD from physical trauma, no matter what. If it's a car accident, a riding accident, if it's you come back from the front line, or you have like, you, there is an absolute mental component to healing from, and I say healing from the trauma because I believe we can all heal, but it takes work, and it takes kind of like it takes hitting like a low before you can get out the other side, I think. In my experience, for me, creating the movie was kind of healing, actually. It was very cathartic, and I I've weirdly had a lot of traumas in my life. So it wasn't the first time I had PTSD from something. And I think you can also have PTSD from being in a dysfunctional relationship, and an abusive relationship. And I think this movie for me brought together a lot of the elements that I've experienced in my life from various times in my life. Ultimately, the precipice was breaking my back and the healing process, but I think there was some leftover elements of dysfunctional relationships in there as well.
Well, yeah, I'm glad that you're saying this because one of the things that comes up in the film, but also in the notes, is I was preparing for this was that the I think your character says to truly heal from anything in life, you need to face your own shadow.
Hmm.
What
Hmm.
what does that mean to you? I mean, you talk about hitting that low, but what does it mean to face off against your own shadow?
Hmm. I think if we all faced our own shadows and we all were aware of our own shadows, we actually would be a much more healed and happy society. But it takes a lot of unhappy, like it's not going to be a happy time facing your shadow, right? Your shadow is usually the side of yourself that you don't want to recognize. It is the side that, whether it's like an addiction, whether it's your like you want revenge, or like it's like what we have not healed in our life. Like maybe we had a dysfunctional parental relationship, and so the loss of a parent or the lack of emotional connection with a parent might um, create a cycle in our life that we then carry throughout our lives and maybe pass on to somebody else. But instead, if we looked at our shadow, and I think it's like a Jungian uh, um, psychiatry or whatever, but it is about looking at those parts of ourselves that we don't want to face,
Hmm.
and um, and 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 admitting that they exist, seeing them, and then working through the I don't know, the it's very complicated. I don't know. It's like, I guess if everybody could, I guess it's about seeing our dark side, and also and about not judging it,
Hmm.
learning to see it, recognize it's there, and then recognizing when it rears its head and being like, nope, not today. But also knowing that, we are light and dark, and the yin and the yang. And a lot of that is a philosophy that I live with in my daily life. It is, about like, without the dark, there is no light. Without the sun, there is, without the day, there is no night. Um, so yes, that's a lot to put in a movie. I don't think that the movie is really just about that, but there is an element of it.
No, absolutely. I hear what you're saying, and I think that that is what fleshes out her character journey is this
Mhm.
tension,
Yeah.
um, as well. I would love to ask you about music in this film. Was that something? Was that coming from you, or are you a musical person, or was that something that you thought this would be perfect for this character, but isn't really your story?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I am a musical person, and Byron, my partner, was in a band for many years, actually before I met him. But so he is a guitar player, and I did grow up playing the piano. But we also were like, a movie about two actors is probably not that interesting. Like, who cares about actors? But no, so it was. I think that was a good placement. Also in New York City, I think it is like, I mean, I grew up with a very, I mean, we do have a piano in the house. The piano in the movie is in the apartment, I should say. But like, I really did try to think about what elements we had at our disposal, and what we could actually use, and what our fortes were, things that we could bring to the table.
Well, it's interesting because, and this may be I don't think it's a strange comparison, but forgive me if it sounds it. Music and sexuality in this film are key things that seem intertwined, and they seem like
Mhm.
spiritual experiences.
Well, I
And it
love
seems
that
like,
you say that. I love that you say that. I mean, I think they can be and should be. And I tried to like make them as beautiful and passionate and as one would experience it in real life. Like, when you hear live music, when you hear classical music, especially, it does have like a very, well, any live music, but I mean, it's so beautiful live. And I think music can heal. Um, in this case, like her sexual connection with this very new-ish lover relationship is very passionate because it's still in its early days. And I think that's a beautiful thing. It can also be a distracting thing. And I think it was part of the journey. Like in my real life, I had just met my partner 3 months before breaking my back. So we were still in a very early days of the passion of our relationship. And I thought it was really important to put that element into the movie because literally there's a scene in the movie and that is based on a real experience I had early on after I broke my back. We made love and I was like, shoot, like what if my spine now, like what if the broken bones break apart all of a sudden and now I'm going to be paralyzed.
Mm,
You know, like I wasn't paralyzed during when the accident happened, but now a little one of the bones that's broken 6 places is going to chip off and go into my spinal cord just from, making love with my partner. Even though he was careful, but like that kind of fear is is like a weird thing uh and was very disturbing when I experienced that at the time. Um,
well, I know the scene you're referring to, and the audio in that film is chilling because this, the two of you are together, and yet there's this cracking sound that's going
mhm,
on, and whether or not I think it's in your character's mind, I'm not,
mhm,
but and it's you can sense that it's like, oh no, oh my goodness, because there would be that very real tension.
mhm.
And I completely can see that that would be such a difficult
Yeah.
thing.
That was really based on like a real feeling that I have. I think a lot of it is the things that we have in our heads that we're thinking about while things are happening. I think I tried to make them more physicalized in this movie.
This I really appreciate your candor in this, honestly, because this is I can sense the openness and the personal nature of this story, how real it is to your experience. Having said that,
Mhm.
as we start to wrap, I would love to ask you about healing, because I think there is a line that says the best thing you can have around in your healing is having someone around to help you and heal you. But is that the key to moving past these things, or what was it that helped you get through things?
Oh man, yeah, that's such a good question. So, yeah, I think that's what people think or say. And of course, it's so wonderful to have like be surrounded by people that love you when you're going through a difficult time. I mean, I think that's really, really important to have community when you're healing. At the same time, I really believe that true healing comes from within no matter what. You have to want to heal. Like I do say, you have to want to change to change. If you don't want to heal, nobody's going to help you heal.
Mm,
Like it has got to come from within. And I'm not saying like, gosh, I mean, there are some things that like you cannot physically heal, of course. Like if you are paralyzed and I mean, I feel I was so close to that I'm not saying I experienced it. I actually did have like issues with feeling my leg for over a year and a half, but I could walk. So
mm.
it's not like, um, but I think no matter what, like life is constantly giving us challenges and we can either choose to mm, not grow from them or we can choose to grow from them. And I mean that like growing is a difficult thing. It is so difficult to go through difficult, like traumatic times in your life. And for some people that is their whole life with like a disease or with being, having a disability of any kind. I think I think we are always challenged in life and I think we can learn from those challenges and grow um and healing can be mental as well as physical of course but I think it's very often mental but and there I this is just my experience so I don't even want to like I can't even say for anybody else what they've gone through in their lives and I've been so lucky in so many ways in my life that I have come out the other side. Okay. Like I had a really bad car accident when I was 20. My car flipped 6 times front of her back. And it was totaled. And the only space in the car that was not totaled was the driver's seat. And I like literally was like facing forward when I woke up. They had to, get me out of the car. So I feel like I've like missed death so many times, which is so weird. Not so many times, but at least a good couple of times. And it does make you wonder what like what is this? What is the point? Like, why am I still here? And what am I doing? And maybe I just have to be the best person I can be. And if I'm healed and if I'm being the best person I can be every day, and I'm not saying that Mia is the best person she can be every day. Mia Knox is still learning, maybe still healing, but I think it is also metaphorical for like getting rid of the things in your life that are not serving you to be the best version of yourself.
I love that. And certainly I know everyone's experience is different, but this is such a powerful film because it's coming from you and your story. And it is such a wild and fun ride, intense as well. Thank you so much for the time, Christina. I really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for watching and thank you for taking the time because I know there are lots of movies out there. So,
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Kristina Klebe, the writer, director, and star of Nocturne. Thanks so much for your time. Have a great day, Christina.
okay. Thank you so much, Steve.
Thanks so
And
much. Okay. Bye bye.